but it's the journey itself where you really gotta freaking enjoy it.
Has had an impact on your life to date that would never show up on a professional resume?
Avoid comfort as much as possible.
What do you think the riskiest thing you've ever done was?
Oh God, I'm getting a little deep for that question.
You picked my question apart.
How
does all those things build into your relationship?
They don't make mistakes. I probably don't like.
If it works out for you every single time, you're not learning anything though, too.
Yeah, but you're also probably not doing anything that's challenging.
You're not challenging yourself.
Yeah, which goes back to what we talked about.
The whole theme of everything, yeah. Welcome to Naturally Curious.
It's an honor, brother.
I've always believed that curiosity is the doorway to understanding people, including ourselves. Everyone you meet is carrying something, a dream, a fear, a moment that has changed them. And those moments define who we are and what we become. This podcast is about exploring those moments, the real, honest parts of life that usually sit beneath everything else. You and I have known each other for a little while.
Unfortunately.
That's terrible, terrible news. But when I thought about you and what I wanted to do with this podcast, I think you're a very, very good guest to have on, especially to talk about not only where you are now, but how you got here.
Yeah.
And I even think about our venture when I got out of college and I started working, and you kind of helped me get into that routine of here's challenging, hard things that are possible and you can do it. And you and I had our routine, right? We were doing the early morning ice bath, yoga.
We were doing
MMA, gym.
We were all in one day and for days on end. Days on end, right? It was just, it became, that's what needed to happen on the day.
We were grinding.
And it was just, a thing that kind of cascaded and compounded day over day.
Yeah. And this time of year, freezing.
This time of year, right?
Freezing. We were up early morning.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, external factors, aren't always going to be in your favor. So that's something you just got to, get over and get through.
We did the damn thing.
And we did the damn thing.
So that's where my head was at this morning when I woke up. I was like, damn, I think this will be a good one.
We were going to get flow. We've talked about this plenty of times before.
It's like the first 30 minutes are a little awkward, at least the few I've done, and then you're like, damn, this shit's not even there.
We've had hours of conversations where this is just kind of natural for us.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you some shit, and it's up to you to determine how.
And I got some shit for you.
Yeah. All right. Who are you right now?
Who am I right now? Oh, man.
How old are you?
28. Turning 29 in July. When I think of who I am right now, I think of myself as somebody that just commits to a high standard day in and day out, whether that's professionally or socially, and someone who tries to achieve that standard day in and day out. And I think that reflects to whether it's lifting, running, professionally, socially, just hit, all the X's, as best I can day in and day out. And to say I have it all figured out right now is a lie. I don't think anybody has it figured out. You can talk to the most successful people in the world. They don't have it figured out. And I think it's just the more you can hold yourself to a higher standard and not necessarily hit that standard every day, but know where you have to be, the better off you're going to position yourself. Again, going back to whether that's professionally, athletically, socially, whatever it may be. I think that's, how you set yourself up for, success down the line. And that's who I feel like I am right now, is someone who's just trying to figure out what that standard is, and just doing the damn thing every day.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love it. And you said something there that made me think, because on the outside, and I sent you this, I wrote it down. From the outside, it looks like you got it figured out, right? And that's, I think, the wall most people put up is,
this is what I have, and you don't know anything else that's in my life. Yeah, what's going on.
Everybody has their problems, right? No matter what way you want to paint the portrait, there's something going on
Everybody goes through shit, yeah.
But I think that'll lead us into this, because I asked you this, and I wanted you to think about it, but from the outside, right, it looks like you have it all figured out, right? I love how I wrote this.
Yeah, I mean,
You've got the home, you've got the beautiful fiance, the beautiful blue Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
Right? Like
great Jeep Wrangler.
stability.
You saw me pull up today.
Yeah, there's like blue outline. Gray with blue outline,
Yeah.
whatever. So again, like, do you feel like you've got it figured out? But what's
not even close.
So what's the standard for you then?
That's the thing. It's trying to find out what the standard is. It's whether it's weekly, monthly, or yearly. You know, you're setting goals and you reach those goals. And then for like guys like us, like our personality types, it's you crush those goals, whether you beat it by a lot or you just get there. It's not sit and celebrate. It's okay, on to the next one.
Yeah.
So I think figuring it out is a weird concept for me because I don't think there's an end goal. I think with each goal that passes comes a new one, and it's not just getting to that final destination, but it's the journey itself where you really gotta freaking enjoy it and just and do what you love every day. And I think for me to say I figured it out is, I think, just
sorry about that. I think it's the beginning of the end. If you say I've made it, is then you're no longer striving for something next.
Right, exactly. I think, and again, like I know many people that I think have made it, but they'll tell you the same exact thing. There's like, no.
Yeah.
We haven't figured shit out. There's always that next notch you got to knock off.
For sure.
And I think that's, when you talk to successful people, that's the common denominator, is that it's always what's next. It's
They're
like,
still climbing.
it's like, you ran the marathon, I'm sure you were like, okay, like, that's done. For the first hour, you're like, yeah, that was pretty awesome. And then it's like, you sit down for a little bit, you're like, all right, what's next now?
I think my legitimate first thought when I finished was, damn, I really have to do that again.
Yeah.
Because
you don't even enjoy it. And I think that's the life of a competitor, and just to go even deeper, it's the life of someone who just has drive and wants to be successful.
Yeah.
And I think to say that I don't think I'll ever figure it out. I think I'll always be like this. I won't sit and be like, yeah, like that's it. Like we've done it. Like even when I'm, on the brink of retirement and stuff, it's always going to be, that next thing. And even right now, it's like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years. So again, it's just finding that standard and keep on, compounding days and working my ass off every single day, and trying to, achieve what I think, is my next goal. And then once that goal is achieved, it's on to the next one. So not figured out.
Not figured out.
And
Not even close.
I think the answer is never will I figure it out.
Yeah.
Because and I think this kind of correlates a little bit. It's you got to enjoy the process, and you got to be process driven if you want to get to where you want to go. And that process needs to remain consistent in the same each goal that you notch off.
Yeah.
So there's no end goal.
Yeah.
Just keep on going.
Yeah, and I again, you hit it on the head, but I think about maybe when you meet somebody who you've always deemed as a success, and then you get to know them a little bit, and you're like, all right, they have their own problems, they're still climbing, they're a human being at the end of the day. But I thought about something when you were talking there, and 14-year-old, you could say Matt Sands, you could say anybody else, looks at you and that's kind of the embodiment of he has a life I want.
Yeah.
Right? So not necessarily having it figured out to your standard, but you said it pretty well there, where here's somebody who has done things and maybe to our standard is successful, and now I'm striving to be something similar. So to the younger generation,
and that's so huge.
Yeah, I think you need that
to aspire to be like other people that have been there, done that.
Yeah,
because they have the blueprint. They know, and then when you get there again, it's like the way we are like-minded individuals. It's you get to that point, and you're like, you don't even think about it. You're like, okay, like I don't even realize that it's been 10 years and I've gotten to this level, to what I've aspired to be. Now, what is next?
Yeah.
And I think that answers the question perfectly. Of have I figured it out, or has anyone in general figured it out?
Anybody?
The answer is no. Yes, because there's professional goals in your like workplace professional setting. There's social personal goals. And then there's, guys like us who are athletes, there's athletic goals that we have. So there's a whole pie and pieces of the pie that just will never be complete unless you want them to be and you're done and you don't want to take that next step. Yeah. But for me, that's I don't think that's in the cards. So the answer is I don't think I'll ever figure it out. I think it's just going to be I know what the standard needs to be, or I'll know what the standard will have to be to get to those goals, and that's just what I'm going to have to do day in, day out, week to week, month to month, year to year. Yeah,
I love it. And I find it funny because I think about if you did get to that point of, you know what, maybe you hit 60, you're like, had a wife and kids, did all the things I set out to achieve, I'm loaded, like, you know what? I'll just die now. Like, what do you do next? You need something. You need to strive for something.
That's right. Like, I've always been like, I got to set this goal. Like, I'm setting like, because I'm in talk about work for a little bit. I'm in a production-based job, so it's you're just as good as what you bring in the door.
And what do you do?
Underwriting, production underwriting, sales underwriting. You're only as good as what you bring through the door. So last month. Great job. Like you brought in a ton. You did really well. But now it's this month. What can you do for me? Type thing. So I have week to week, month to month goals professionally, and then obviously athletically. There's always something next.
How has what you do outside of work come into the office where you, like you said, it's production based? You need to perform. It completely
correlates. Yeah. It's working out. Getting up the early mornings when it's cold out, when you don't feel like doing it, directly translates to professional setting, no matter what industry you're in. You find out more about yourself and kind of how to hold yourself to a high standard. And I think that directly bleeds into any professional setting, any industry. I have a better day at work when I get up early and I push myself early. It directly sets myself up for success throughout the day. I've
never heard anybody say, I woke up early, worked out, and had a bad start to my work day.
Yeah, right.
Maybe something bad happened when you got to work, but you didn't come into work like, fuck, today,
for sure.
So
for sure.
It was a common
theme.
And
I think just, pushing yourself for years on end, athletically and physically, I think just makes everything else in life feel a little bit easier. Like you do the hard shit and you really push yourself, and you stay on top of yourself. And I think all that stuff bleeds over to professionally, personally. Yeah. Like no questions asked. It directly correlates.
That's perfect. So I was going to ask this. Let's backtrack a little bit because obviously collegiate athlete, high school athlete, quarterback, Weathersfield High School. I think you were a senior, I was a freshman.
Really?
Yeah. Why, you thought we were closer in age?
I thought you were 2 years younger than me.
No.
3?
Little bro.
4?
Well, I'm 2 years, like 2 and some change younger, but because you're young for your grade, I'm old for mine.
Okay.
But I was a freshman, you were a senior. So we're 3 years.
Okay, I thought you were a sophomore when I was a senior. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In high school course.
Made me feel a little bit old.
Killing the game, just so everybody knows. Let me put that out there real quick. But, first and foremost, I think you guys you went undefeated.
We went undefeated. We lost in the semis to New Canaan.
Which was the first Weathersfield playoff win in a very long time, right?
No, to that. So I graduated in 2015. We never won a playoff game before me.
That's what I'm saying.
And
never.
Never in school program history. We went 11-0, and we ended up losing in the semis to New Canaan, which it was a great game going into the third quarter. It was a 7-point game, and then they just broke one.
Rain. Shitty weather.
Yeah, it was cold rain. Yeah. December football. Yeah. No, but it was. I mean, again, you learn so much. Being a captain at both high school and college level, you learn a lot about leadership qualities that directly translate into life in the professional setting too. And you just learn about hard work and dedication that again bleed into all aspects of life. Because that shit is it's not easy, but it definitely sets you up, or sets the table a little bit for life after college, in both realms.
And that's what we'll get into. But also on the other side of that spectrum is, captain of the varsity football team, very well successful. You kind of embody this stereotypical, if somebody were to think of that, it's like this jock jerk probably like thinks but you weren't that at all, right? And that's why I wanted to say, like, I was a freshman, you were a senior, and still, like, I mean, our chorus class was a completely different thing than anybody else could experience.
In high school.
Yeah. But, still incredibly humble, and, like, that group of guys was still, like, you just had a really great group of guys.
We had a great core of guys, for sure.
And that led to, well, pretty much a question I'm rambling on about would be this. What did that cause in you where, work ethic, next level is playing college? Like, where is that tumble of it? Because it eventually bleeds into your professional life and what you're doing in your day-to-day today. So how did that season shift your mindset? And then getting into college, how did playing in college shift? Because now you have freedom. You're not going home to mom and dad, right? So you can take off if you want.
It's completely different, man. I think you got, for lack of better term, you have people holding your hand in high school.
Yeah. Expectations of
people that will hold you accountable, and you have that in college, but I don't believe you have it to the extent that you do in high school. You're still a kid. You're, so to speak, a grown man in college, regardless if I was 17 going into my freshman year, so I was still a kid. But it's more of a business, and it's far more professional than high school was, and that is what you go through the ropes, and you find somebody, maybe that's a senior or a junior that's done it right, underclassmen through, that's done it successfully, and you follow their footsteps, and then you get to that junior senior year, and you set yourself up for success, and then it's like, okay, like, this isn't too bad, but it's kind of learning the ropes a little bit, because there is a lot of time. There's not your parents to say, hey, like, I got to drive you to high school. You got to go to class. Like, no, I got to walk, or, whatever it is, to class. A lot of freedom, a lot of choices to make. You can either make the right choice or the wrong choice.
Do whatever the hell you want.
There's no repercussions until grades come out, because there's no, like, attendance or anything like that in class. So it's kind of, maybe learning through error. Me personally, you latch on to some people that have been there, done that, maybe some current captains on the team, or upperclassmen that are successful on and off the field. And you kind of just try to replicate that and kind of find your own balance. And you go from there. And I think that speaks directly to, professional. For me personally, it's when I first got into insurance, like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just got into insurance because I knew some family members in it. They said, hey, like, you do this, it could be super lucrative, if you really, grind. Like, it sounds good. Like, I don't mind grinding. Like, I can sit down and do that. But I don't know, like, anything when I got into the industry. You find people that have kind of carved out a path, that have done it before, and the term is you find a couple mentors to kind of guide you through. And I think it's the same thing, like, coming from high school going into college playing football. It's like, okay, like, this is completely different than what I was doing before in high school.
Especially as an athlete.
You find those mentors, or guys you're trying to aspire to be like, and you just follow their footsteps, and you kind of adjust a little bit to kind of make it your own, and climb the path that way.
I think it's funny because it brings us back to one of the first things we started with, which is you get into freshman year of college, maybe the captain of the team now, he seems like he's got it figured out.
Right, you're back to square one.
But it's like he's got to figure it out.
Sure, you had figured out in your previous life, previous goal, previous life, previous goal.
Yeah.
But now you have a new goal.
Yeah, it starts over.
New environment.
Yeah.
You're back to square one.
Environment is everything, in my opinion.
And
right?
we
could do a whole. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Yeah, that makes or breaks everything. Like in terms of football, like if speaking on football, because we're on it right now, in terms of environments, like you got to have the right guys in the locker room. You got to have the right coaching staff, and for everything to kind of come to fruition, you know.
Jet. Pet him. Guy has no idea what.
Well, yeah, you gotta. Yeah, go ahead.
So like, because I completely agree, right? And a shift I've had, especially after getting back from traveling. Hey, Jet.
It's not playtime. Come on, pause.
Yeah. Energy within the locker room, all these things, right? So if one guy is bringing the negativity.
You're only as good as the weakest link in team sports. I think not even football, just any team sport in general. If one guy's lagging behind, whether he's on the field or off the field, it totally affects energy and production. I think tenfold. So
what would you say to that negative guy in the locker room?
Luckily, I didn't have that many encounters, but it depends who they're, because I've had the privilege to captain in college for 2 seasons, and it's dealing with different person, right? There's 90 something guys in the locker room. It's a lot of guys from different walks of life. 53 that travel on the active roster, but a lot of guys that come from different walks of life. And I think when you ask that question, how do you deal with someone that's kind of bringing down the energy? It depends who that person is. I think being an effective leader, you have to know who your audience is or who you're dealing with, and be it that we had 90 plus guys in the locker and everybody is from different backgrounds, different states, different environments. You kind of gotta know who that person is and know how to talk to them. I think that's more important than just being the rah-rah, loud guy, verbal guy. You got to know how to really connect with these people, because if they don't respond to you screaming at them and saying like, pick your shit up, like let's go, you're not going to get the results you want from them. So I think knowing who they are and how to kind of deal with them, talk to them, bring them to the level that you want them to go is more important than just being the verbal guy, verbal leader. Because there's more to leadership than, oh, I can just stand up in a room and talk to people. Yeah. No, you have to connect with people, and once you do that, they'll follow you.
Love it. How so leaving that, right, and being in a position where you have these certain goals athletically and within the sport, so training really isn't optional for you at that point. It is always, right? But if you want to be on the field and play, you need to train. If you have
goals.
Yeah, you need to train, right? Yep. But once that is over, actually I just thought of a whole nother question thing, but once that's over.
That's going to happen frequently.
I know. So 2 things, ready? Once you're done with college sports and training is no longer optional, or training is now optional.
Yeah, training is now optional.
I'm going to fucking say that because whatever. I'll probably leave it in, but you're done with sports and training wasn't optional.
Yeah.
Now you're done. So there's 2 ways we can go with this. The first question I'm going to ask you is, how do you deal with, you've been an athlete your whole life.
Yep.
You were striving for something your whole life, and I think this is probably going to be the most relatable part of this whole thing is what the fuck do I do now?
It's finding something to keep the competitive edge, whether that's running, high rocks, which I've done a few now, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, whatever it is, finding something where you can get to the game day and still achieve goals day in, day out by practice and repetition, but still having that sense of game day, like marathon day, feels pretty damn similar to a game setting. High rocks day feels very damn similar to a game day setting, and I think that rush and that feeling is what I'm chasing always, and that's kind of how I keep myself sane, so to speak, in terms of athletics, is kind of having those big goals, and kind of, again, enjoying the journey, working through that journey, getting to the game day, and reaping the rewards from the work.
Hell yeah.
Because it's like athletes, it's like you crave that rush of adrenaline, And I think for me, that's crucial, and it bleeds over to everything else. If I don't have that ability to chase that goal, I just won't be the same person socially or professionally, honestly. Yeah. Really, it all bleeds into that. And that's kind of like the root of, what I do,
Yeah, I had that conversation the other night with a couple of friends who played college sports, and it was very prominent conversation.
You need that. What's the next thing? Like I need to focus on that, get to that game day, get that rush, and then it's like, all right, got that done. Like onto next week.
Yeah, the embodiment of the journey. I think is really what are you working towards?
That's what I've been really. I mean, like that's kind of like where I'm trying to live at right now. These last few years. Getting out of college and professionally and like what I want to do athletically and stuff like that. It's kind of just like do what I want to do, enjoy the fuck out of it, and still get that high that I did when I was actually an athlete.
Yeah, I love it. You kind of touched on it, but similarly to that same question is, and this is what I was trying to ask, but now you have the choice to wake up every day and work out.
Yeah.
And there's not a specific, if I don't work out today, I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
It's like I'm holding myself to a standard, and you're doing solo sports.
Well, we're going back to what we talked about first. It's the standard, right? If I don't get up this morning and I don't work out, I'm not holding that standard that I talked to myself about, and it's going to bleed into everything else in life.
Yeah. I love it.
So for me, I don't think it's optional. I still think it's mandatory because that's just my lifestyle, and that's a standard that I've constructed for myself. So I want to just continue down that path. So for me, it's just become routine lifestyle. Yeah. I think that's the best answer I can give for that. Yeah. Because truthfully, like it's my routine, it's my life. Like if I don't do that, then everything else suffers.
Yeah, and we're very similar in that way. What's the biggest thing that has had an impact on your life to date that would never show up on a professional resume? Right. So. You could
That's
take
a good
that
question, man.
But like you switch jobs and you sit down. What is something you're not going to tell your hiring person, but this has made me who I am today?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna reverse this back with a question.
Go ahead.
What would you? What would you say that kind of stands out for you? That you like kind of? Are you saying that is kind of in the background that you wouldn't kind of?
I think
like bring it to the world, so to speak.
I think something that's, I guess, intangible that we share is that drive and the effort we put in towards the athletics. That at this point, it's you're probably not going to go to the NFL. Right, but you're still grinding for these. But why? Right. So what's your why? And I think that's something that would show up in a professional interview where I can't sit down and tell you my work ethic towards the things I'm passionate about looks like this. Yeah. Because how does that apply to the job I'm trying to get? But like, I've seen this all over.
You see what I'm saying? That's a damn good question.
Yeah.
I think it's my drive and kind of my why is who I want to be in the future. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to disappoint myself 10 years down the road. Yeah. Type thing. Like from being 10 years down the road, being a father, hopefully having, my own agency one day in professional life.
I'll be there.
Which it certainly will. Which is, a goal of mine certainly. But that and then again, athletically, 10 years down the road, 15 years, 20 years down the road, I don't want to disappoint that version of me right now. Yeah. And I think I'm not someone that needs like daily motivation just because again, it's lifestyle. It's who I am, what I've become type thing. So I don't need motivation is good, but it's discipline that, carries you
all
day in and day out. So I don't really need much of that. But in terms of, why I do it, it's like 10 years down the road, I don't want to get there and be like, fuck, like
I wish I worked harder.
Like what was I doing here? Whether it was socially, professionally, or athletically. Yeah. What was I doing there that kind of didn't allow me to get there? And again, it goes back to the daily standard that we set for ourselves. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't drop that in an interview, so to speak. But it's like I don't want to get down the road and set myself up for failure and look back and be like, what the hell, Matt? Like 28-year-old Matt, like why didn't you do this? Type thing. So I'm just trying to find that line.
And you bring the energy already, right? Where you'd give that certain vibe of somebody who, and I think in my head I was kind of thinking of this when I saw something on Instagram probably, and it was like, how do I explain to a job interviewer that I've ran a marathon? Because it's like the discipline that it takes to train. And I mean, for you and I at this point, I think that's like the bar is we're so able as people, and people have set such a ceiling. It's ridiculous to me, but you know, I guess that's what makes us different. All right, so this is one I'm excited to hear your response, right? Because again, you're the embodiment of somebody that is on at least the right path. You don't have it all figured out.
Certainly.
Right? Nobody does.
That path.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, on the outside, and even somebody, we're very good friends, and I'm like, you're doing very well. So on the outside of people who don't know you, it's like, maybe he's living the dream. Whatever. You have your problems, I get it. But this is something I wanted to ask you. Because you have, again, a home, a fiance, a dog, a full-time job, and you're in incredible shape. You still pursue these endeavors of physical activity where it's incredibly challenging, right? So many people would use the comfort you have in your life as an excuse. So many people, right? And you still push to that next level. The bar is still going. Now,
that's the thing I was taught at a very young age playing football and growing up. Is complacency is the number one killer. Avoid comfort. And some days harder than others. I'm not perfect. Like there's days where I trip up for sure. But just trying to avoid comfort as much as possible. And by comfort, I mean not holding myself to the standard that I've set. Because when I don't, I consider that comfort. Like I'm not pushing myself. I'm not getting out of my comfort zone. That's not the standard I set for myself. So I'm completely avoiding it and I'm staying comfortable. That's what I try to avoid on a daily basis. And to bring back what we were talking about before, environment, being surrounded by like-minded people will help you stay out of that, I think. Because sometimes, again, not perfect. We're all humans. We get in our own head sometimes, trip up. But when you have those people in your corner, it's harder to trip up and stay complacent. And I think I'm very blessed enough to have really, solid people in my corner, whether it's from the gym or, Kayla, Rambo, you. Just a bunch of people in my corner that
they're gonna set the bar for you.
It's like they know what the bar is, right? And they're like, they know, like, hey, like we know what you have to do, like, and go do it. And you got people that are doing the same thing that you're surrounding yourself with. So it's like, all right, he did it. Now it's my turn to do it. And I'm talking about like on a daily basis, like you go to the gym, pushing yourself and stuff like that. You see the other people doing it. You have to hold the line a little bit. But going back to the question, complacency is killer. If no one's successful that is comfortable, and it's not easy for everybody until it gets easy, and it's only going to get easy if you get out of your comfort zone. You got to start uncomfortable. I mean, you got to be bad. You see people at the top again. You see people at the top. They weren't always comfortable starting out. You kind of got to push yourself, make yourself a little bit comfortable, and then you start noticing like running is a good example. Like, holy shit, like that shit sucks when you first start. Like when you did your first long run, how shout out James Kim.
Yeah.
Oh, James, animal.
I wasn't really a runner, right?
Yeah. You and I both. Nobody was a runner. Long distance running 2 years ago. Even 2 years ago, I'm like, no thanks.
What was your idea of runners before you were one? Because I was like, I'll never in my life do a
because
marathon.
I'm gonna be like 160
Yeah.
at like 6 foot, like not like you know what I mean. But like it doesn't have to be. Like now I know because again, like I've gone through it. I followed people that have done it before. Like now I know like I can keep muscle. I can stay at 210, 200-ish weight and still log 60-mile weeks.
Perform
at a high level.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
I interrupted. My fault.
No, you're good.
It was on the.
Oh, we're going back to running, right?
Yeah,
we're talking about running
yeah.
as a good kind of like reflective talk of it. First half sucked. A year and a half ago, Hartford was my first half. I think my time was like a 2:03 for my first half, and I was like, all right, like whatever, like that's fine. Like I'm happy with that because it's my first one. But it sucked. Like it wasn't easy. And then I fast forward 6 months, maybe 6 months later, I did my second half, Surftown, Rhode Island, and popped a 140. And I was happy, but I was pissed off because it's going back. You work, you enjoy the process, and it gets easier the more uncomfortable you put yourself in. The more uncomfortable situations you put yourself in, the easier it gets. That 2:03 half, 6 months before the PR, Surftown, it didn't feel easy because it was my first one. I don't have a track record of doing a long distance run. Couple months of training, really making myself uncomfortable, pushing the limits a little bit. 140, wasn't really happy. It's the next one, but it didn't feel as bad as the 2:03. Like the 140 felt easier than the 2:03, and that's because you put yourself in uncomfortable situations and then stay driven on the process, and then you get to game day, and the fruits of the labor pay off, and it's because you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. You don't even like, it compounds, you don't even realize it. Like it compounds quick. And I think when people think of staying uncomfortable, it deters them because they're like, like you said, like stay comfortable, like is what it is. Like I'm comfy, I don't, a good paying job, whatever it may be. You stay comfortable without really kind of pushing myself and getting uncomfortable. But people don't understand you do that, and it's quick compound. Like you realize a lot of growth very quickly. And if you stay that path, a lot can change within a year, a lot. And I'm just using that, kind of relating it back to running because it is.
I have the same exact mindset with
it. It kind of correlates to life. It kind of speaks to life in and of itself. You're only going to get you're only going to get out what you put in.
Yeah.
And if you really, really push yourself and you get uncomfortable, you're going to see massive, massive growth very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, like working. If if you're just doing the bare minimum, don't expect a lot. But like if you're getting uncomfortable and you're doing those, you're traveling, you're marketing, you're getting out there, speaking in front of offices of people, like that shit will compound this way. And before you know it, you look half a year, like your production, like for me at least, like production wise, like it's like tenfold.
Yeah.
And I think that it speaks. It all correlates. And I think going back to your original question, it's complacency and comfort is the devil.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's the devil.
I couldn't agree more. And a couple thoughts, right, is the patterns that show up in life where, the saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
I don't know how I felt about it until really I traveled and I came to realize. Got a lot of perspective on that trip.
I'm
for
sure.
sure.
I'm jealous.
And we'll probably talk about that more off camera. But it really is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you can sit in the hard and be willing to be bad for.
Find comfort in the uncomfortable.
If you can be bad for a day, a week, a year, whatever it is. And then
it compounds so quickly, dude. It really does.
My buddy.
And I think that's what people don't realize. Like it's like you just got to put yourself out there and you got to just do it. If you're gonna do it, don't dip your toes. What does Matthew McConaughey say?
Don't half-ass it.
Go all in. Don't dip your toes. Go all the way in.
Yeah.
And it's right though. Like if you just surrender yourself and just do it, you're going to be amazed where you're at. And this is a good time to have this conversation because
That's how I feel.
January 3rd?
Yeah.
I don't do resolution. I mean, I do year in, year out, but I call them goals. I don't call them resolutions. Same thing.
I could come up with it in October.
The same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. People doing resolutions, it's like, just surrender yourself. Just go all in. Don't dip your toes. Just go in. I promise you no one cares what you're doing or how you're doing it. Just do what you want to do and do it to the fullest.
And don't make a chore of it. If you love doing it goes
so back to the process. You got to learn to love it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to learn to love it. Because, you know, a ton of people ask me, what are you, why are you doing this? I love it, man.
So many. What I love it. What are you training for? It's like life.
I love it.
Yeah, so do I.
I love being tired as hell in the morning and just putting it out there, you know?
Matt.
And people just need to find comfort in the uncomfortable.
Because
then you look back 6 months, that 6 month span where you really, really grind, you're going to be amazed at where you're at.
Yeah. And it pours in, you said it so well, it pours into every other part of your life.
It feeds
really
into
does.
everything.
Finishing a marathon, even a half marathon, even a 10-mile run, you're like, damn, I didn't know I could do that. What else is very challenging that I can? Let me push the limit a little bit.
The next one and the next one.
It's an unbelievable thing.
It's really cool to do, and then talk about it with like-minded people. Again, environment.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're really capable of until we do it.
And so many people set the bar so low.
Yeah, it's like if I miss the bar by a little bit, so fucking be it, dude. At least,
but if it's all the way up here,
it's gonna be up there. But I don't. If I miss it a little bit, that's fine. We're gonna move on to the next one.
Yeah.
But it's the process to get there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's learning what the standard is to get to that lofty goal, and just day in and day out.
Yeah, right. And I think of either my first half marathon where the ignorance of setting the bar at like a 1:30. I got pretty close, but whatever.
Up at the finish line? That was at number 2.
No, that was when I actually hit sub 1:30. Worth it.
I remember when you put that the final stretch on Instagram. I was crying because you were knees to chin.
I was hurting.
Yeah.
And the other side of that too, though, is my first high rocks. Right, I shit the bed. But
it's, again, we talked about this. It was your first one. You had a very lofty goal for a pro solo first one.
Yeah.
But now you know what that standard is to get there, right?
Yeah.
You know what the standard is, and you know what the process needs to look like. Time to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And see the growth quick.
Yeah, 100%. On that note, do you think people are drawn to things like high rocks, marathons, difficult physical challenges? Do you think they're drawn because they already have a driven mindset? Or do you think that committing to something like that actually creates the belief, I can do hard things?
I want to say it's the latter. I want to say it's the latter because that's what I think of. Like, obviously the game day portion is huge, but it's doing the shit when no one's watching. And it's like, okay, like, I just did a 21-mile long run or 22-mile long run. That was, I think, my longest long run by myself. Like, well, what else can I do? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, like, let's keep this thing going a little bit. I think it's a mix of both. I think it's finding passion in the process is huge. People kind of fall in love with that, but I also think, you know, it's a game day feeling. It's the adrenaline, it's the rush that you can't find in personal life. Rarely professional life, that kind of, you know, we're all human beings. We need that rush, or most of us need that rush, unless you know, living in comfort.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to seek out to do hard shit, like, we need that rush, and that's I think essential. But I do think people fall in love with the process and doing hard stuff. Again, when no one's watching, like that, there's power in that for sure. Like when adrenaline's moving on race day, like, yeah, you're gonna fly, but like doing stuff behind the scenes, really hard stuff behind the scenes, when not a single soul's watching, and you don't get that round of applause or pat on the back, I think is more powerful than kind of the finished product, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the latter is kind of a product of the first? Are people drawn to things that already have the mindset? I think nobody already has that mindset. I think you either develop it at a young age where you start.
Yeah, I think it's definitely developed in what you're brought up in.
Well, you weren't an all-star quarterback the first time you threw the football.
No.
So you had to be bad.
No.
And then you continuously practiced. So, I think
repetition repetition is it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a process and repetition.
For sure.
That's how you get good at something.
Yeah. And you have to.
Some people are God-given talents.
Sorry.
It's rare. It's rare. Like you'll see some at the highest of highest levels that are just God-given talent. That's like less than 0.0001%.
Yeah.
The rest of us, it's repetition and process-driven work to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's social life, athletic life, professional life. Every aspect of life.
Yeah. What do you think the riskiest thing you've ever done was?
Oh, God. Damn you.
Take that however you want. Go anywhere with that one, brother.
See, it's risky is subjective.
For sure.
Not getting good grades in high school was very risky because it kind of hurt my ability to...
To your standard, what's the riskiest thing you've ever done?
Oh, my God.
You think... God.
I would love to reverse that question back to you because I don't even know.
For me, I would say...
I really don't know
things. Well, I guess, and again, you said it is very subjective, right? Because I could say when I left a stable insurance job that I was working.
Yeah,
and I moved to San Diego.
That's risky, but it's...
Well, it's high risk, high reward for what I wanted. I didn't want to...
Smith Brothers will always be there on the way back, It's not that... I wouldn't consider that a massive risk. Like, you can always find a full-time... Like, you have the ability, right? Like, you have the personable ability to succeed in insurance. I think you have what you need to get that position whenever you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's... You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree. Well, that's the thing too, right? Because I could even say, I guess it is, for me personally, some of the bigger risks I've taken, I'm trying to think, and what is a challenge for me? Like, what truly is difficult for me to do? And I could say, it's a matter of perspective too.
It's a matter of perspective,
because for me, leaving the country wasn't a risk, and it wasn't challenging.
It was what you wanted to do.
I wanted to do it. But if I see a good-looking girl across the bar and I'm nervous, I'm like, that's the biggest risk of my life.
Yeah, like small things like that.
Seriously, though.
Because the way risky is like, it's tough for me because how many risks? We're mid-20s. How many risks have we really taken thus far?
Right,
you know what I mean? Like we're in the first third of our lives.
And we've only been adults for...
How many risks have we actually taken?
How long have our brains been fully developed? Not that long.
Mine's still not developed.
Mine will never be. But let me flip that because I agree, and that is a very subjective question.
Yeah. But I think a good answer is, and just speaking in general, doing something risky is something you haven't done before. So
you don't know.
I'm talking with a couple of my buddies, Brendan and Guillermo, from the gym, like-minded people, grinders, guys that you want in your corner. We're talking about doing a 100-mile ultra in this upcoming fall.
I'll be there.
That to me is like, okay, that's a little risky because that's something I haven't even come close to doing. And you're starting from ground zero. You don't know what the standard is to accomplish that, but you're going to find out during the process what it is.
Yeah.
That's a little bit risky. That's my definition of risky. It's like, okay, haven't done that, haven't come close to doing something like that, but let's not be comfortable. Let's get a little uncomfortable. That's a little risky, but that's.
I think
everyone's different. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think we've done anything in our lives thus far that have been super risky.
Well, I would agree, right? Because even for me, risk mitigation, and that's a job you literally have. So you're thinking risk. Yeah, that's what you do.
We did it.
But even jumping out of an airplane, which I did when I turned 18, but there's not.
Is it risky though? Because if you look at the statistics of people.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's
mindset,
all about like, it's not that risky.
Yeah.
It's scary. All
right.
Scary as
Let me fucking.
But it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry to like, not like, kind of like.
No, I agree.
I'm getting a little deep for that question.
You picked my question apart.
I mean.
No, but
it's just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we're doing anything risky. For me, at least. Like, I don't know if maybe like, the riskiest thing I did was not pay attention in class, high school, and screw my GPA up.
Let me switch it.
Yeah.
Let me switch it.
But that's more of a regret than risky.
That's different. I agree. And you kind of, I think, already maybe not answered, but whatever. One thing you want to accomplish before you turn 30. So you could take that as something you want to accomplish, or take it as a risk.
Kind of segment my life.
A risk you want to take. Go ahead.
I kind of segment my life a little bit. So like socially, what I would want to accomplish before 30. Professionally, what I want to accomplish before 30. And I would say like professionally, like have a team under me. Get to, senior leadership level and have a team under me would be my goal pre-30. Athletically, I think right now the focus is running for the foreseeable future. Obviously lifting too, and maybe sprinkling a couple high roxes, but there's some things I want to do running while I'm still in my prime, so to speak. I don't want to deteriorate and do it down the road. Before 30, which is only 2 years for me, which isn't a long time, but it is if you use your days right. It compounds. 100 miler would be the big one, and then knock off a couple more marathons, and potentially 70.3 in there. We'll see what happens. But I mean, those are like goals pre-30. Like, and then again, I like segment everything in my life just so like I have clear vision on each. And then socially, like I don't know. I'm not really. That's on the back burner right now. Socially, I have the people who I want in my corner, and like family and friends wise. Yeah. There's nothing more I need.
Get married.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's obvious because that's literally happening.
Yeah. You already signed up. You already
talked about kids.
You already
before 30. Talk about kids before 30, which we've talked about it. Yeah.
What's the
2 boys?
Yeah. Of course, pointer north and.
Yeah, maybe one before 30, not both. Right. I'm okay. It was a joke. I'm okay with girls.
No, he's not.
I would like one boy though.
Yeah.
One boy, one girl would be cool.
Yeah.
But like
2
before
is
30, the wedding. But that's just almost cramped. We're gonna edit that out.
No, that'll stay.
No. Before 30, obviously the wedding's already in place well before this year, so that's good. But maybe like talk about the future after the wedding. Yeah.
Let's actually use that because we've talked about how different things have different things have filled your cups with your mindset, athleticism. How does all those things build into your relationship? Right?
Because it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah. And she's very like-minded.
She is, and it's cool.
You guys at a high rocks
to watch
together.
her grow. Exactly. She's like.
You guys killed that.
Which I love. I love doing that. I love doing like hardship because it's like you open people's eyes a little bit. Like she would never run her before she met me. Running now, like doing 10Ks and it's still something.
Well, her and I watched your high rocks together, and
Correct.
She was like, I got to do this.
I was hurting, but we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. No. Well, we can actually if you want, but no, but it's like she's very like-minded, and it's just cool. Like I don't know if it's like I don't think it's a leadership thing by any stretch of the imagination, but just having the ability to influence people and kind of change your perspective on things is powerful. And she would have never I don't think she would have ever done a high rocks if it wasn't like, hey, like this shit is fun. Like try it out, kind of grind for a little bit and see what we have. And we had a blast doing it. I mean, we had fun, process, working out together, and really, grinding. And then you get to the game day and it's like, it's so fun and it's cool to kind of influence people. And people have that influence on me too. Like in the gym, the guys who I know in the morning, like there's some beasts, man. And it's like, all right, like that's what I want. That's what I want to get to. Like
I got to level up.
And it's like, it's a give and take, right? Like I love influencing people and bringing them with me. But I also love like hopping on someone's back and being like, I want to do that too. Like, let's do it. Like, how do I do it type thing. And I think that's the coolest part about it, you know?
Yeah. How do you think the training and the actual accomplishment of doing it together affected your relationship?
One of my good friends from the gym that we trained with, we had like 20 people from that gym go down. I saw James in there. Yeah. Who killed it? James killed it. We had 20 people go down from that gym. Handful of them were couples. And like we were just saying, like, couples who train together stay together. Because you go through hardship, you do the hard shit together. It's like the rest of the shit is easy, man. Yeah. And if you can learn how to kind of grind through some adversity in terms of training and doing, hard shit athletically, it again bleeds in to social life. You're gonna have arguments, you're gonna have whatever it may be, but kind of how to get through it and kind of get through that adversity kind of unscathed, and even better on the other side of it. So I think it completely correlates to one another.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it because on the other end of that spectrum is you see couples that can't work out together, and those are where I question the.
Yeah.
It makes you think, but then you see people that we came together, accomplished this goal, suffered together, and
we push each other too. We push each other. Like if someone's like faltering a little bit, it's like, hey, pick that shit up a little bit. Like, let's go. And it's like, all right, like you're right. It's like stuff like that. Like you're learning how to listen to each other when it's not so easy. So like when you're not pushing a 500-pound sled and you have to listen to each other, it's way easier to do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's like. I know that's a little bit of a stretch of kind of like an analogy, but like, you know what I mean? Like you're doing hard shit, you're communicating, you're listening. That's one thing. When you're sitting on the couch, it's easier to communicate and listen to each other, kind of, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense to me. I love that. What's some advice you'd give? You're 28 now.
28 now. I'm old.
You are old.
What the hell?
You're pretty much 30. I'm pretty much 30.
You're on the wrong side too. Don't worry.
It's sickening.
It's bad. Quarter life crisis.
And let me ask this a different way. What was a low point in your life where
I got one?
Yeah. Go
very
into it a little bit.
Probably the lowest I've been. For things that happened to me personally, not other people who I may love or who in my family that have affected me. But for me, like it was when I got a couple big injuries in college. Shoulder, yeah. 2 surgeries, labrum rotator cuff. And it's obviously the process, the rehab's grueling, but mentally it's even worse. Because there's not much you can do. It was mid-season. You can't go out there with the people that you've grinded all year with, and it sucks from a mental perspective more so than it does from a physical perspective, because there's nothing you can do, right? Like, and I think that speaks for just external factors in life as a whole. To kind of have something that affects you where you have no control over it is, I think, the worst. Because for me, like when I'm training, it's like, or doing anything in life, it's like you have full control over it until something goes wrong that you can't do anything about. And that was for me probably the hardest, because it's a long process. I mean, you can't lift really, like you're doing like PT specific workouts, but it's not like, you're not like power cleaning 275 bench, like throwing bench weight off, running with the guys, or like suffering that way. And even the game days, like you're not dressed, like you're on the sidelines, you're just like, I'm in a sling. Like there's nothing I can do to help the guys that I've worked my ass off with. And I think that for me is tough in general, because I've grown up in kind of like a team environment, and when I can't do something to help other people, that pisses me off, and that I can't control it either. Like it'd be one thing if it's like, my grades were bad, I got, suspended or something like that. Like I got busted on like that's stuff you can control, but getting hurt and like having to sit out was tough mentally, more so than anything. And I think that speaks to everything in life. If I can't do something to help someone that's on my team, so to speak, and I can't control as to why I can't help them, that really F's with me mentally.
How did that moment affect you once you got through it?
I think it definitely strengthens you mentally, obviously, because you've gone through it. I've gone through it twice now. But it's still, I don't think it's nothing I want to go through again.
So is
right? That shit won't be easy, but it's like, okay, like I got through that. Like I can get through it again if I had to, but I don't want to, because that's the stuff that gets me. That's what really puts me in a damper, is when external factors affect me, and now it's prohibited my ability to help others.
In the way that injury is always possible, especially in incorporating.
It's common.
It's
really,
common.
Yeah.
And I think the way we train, the way you train is smart, and you're, again, mitigating that risk of injury because you're intelligently going through these things. You're not in a position where you're getting hit now. You're more just pushing your body to the limits. But what's the mindset like where you continue to do these things knowing there's still a risk you could get hurt and you don't want to deal with that again?
It's like, you're not going to go through living life not driving a car because there's a chance you're going to get into a car accident. You know what I mean? It's like you're still going to do the things you do. Injuries are going to happen, and they've already happened, to you and I, plenty of times. It's comes with the territory.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, but to say that it doesn't suck to go through is more so mentally than physically. I'm not even talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally.
Yeah.
Like what it does. Because you can't train. So now something that you've kind of become, so to speak, you can't do anymore. What does that do? That bleeds into everything else in life, right? Okay, now like some things are suffering a little bit in work, like my relationships might suffer a little bit because I can't do the thing that I need to do to be at my highest.
Yeah.
That standard, right?
Yeah.
And typically it's not something, it's external factors, right? Like I can control like my shoulder getting busted. And it's like you sit with that and you marinate on it a little bit, you're like, this sucks, dude. Like months where I can't do anything and it's gonna affect my life because of something I can't even control.
Did you see what I posted on Instagram yesterday, the January 1st Daily Stoic?
I did not.
So I thought it was a good one, especially for January 1st.
I don't follow you anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm sick of it.
Well, I blocked you, actually. I blocked you. But January 1st was a good one, and it talks about the Serenity Prayer, which is, I think it's something around the line, I'm going to botch this, but it's, God grant me the serenity to accept the things out of my control, the wisdom to change that I can, and the courage to
I'm
act
still
on
working on that.
Something. Yeah.
I'm still working on that, right? We're humans.
But that's a prime example of you sit in the moment and...
It's harder. It's easier said than done.
All day.
Because it's brutal.
All day.
And that's a shit that kills me, dude, is when I can't do what I want it, like...
Yeah.
The process. Like,
and it's routine now. Yeah.
I can't get into my process like that. Yeah. That kills me.
Yeah.
And it's typically stuff that's out of the control.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, even on the topic of other things we talked about, signing up for fatherhood and things that are going to come in the near future too, there's a lot. Everything you're doing now, I think, is going to, again, bleed into it.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, hey, why are you getting up so early? It's like, because I'm going to have a kid and I'm going to have to get my ass up if I want to go work out. Like, the hell?
This is I've had this conversation with a few parents. They're my friends, but they happen to be parents, which is weird, right? Because it's like we're getting up there in age now. Friends are becoming parents.
And you don't even think about, which is a good thing. Like we don't really typically think about the number that's attached.
Once you get older, I think I could have the same conversation with I talked to this guy yesterday who was 55 years old, 2 kids, and we talk just like we are.
Love it.
But in regards to being a parent and a role model, and even you and I, we have people we look up to.
It's important.
Yeah. How do you, or what would an approach be to you where you have, let's say you have a son, you have a kid, whatever.
Yep.
And you want to get your beliefs and your points across to them. But
we're going to find out.
It's going to be a hard question to answer. But, right, you're not going to sit them down and say,
I'm just going to send them to your house.
I think that's legitimately the best play. Let me know when Kayla's pregnant. So I'll find somebody and make sure that we have a kid at the same time. No, but you know what I'm saying? So what, to you...
That's the $1 million question.
How do you get that point across to somebody else or your kid specifically where...
Kid specifically is $1 million question.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Because I don't want to say I'm rigid, but like I have my process and that's that. Like if I stray away from it, I'm not hitting that standard, right? And I think if you want to find any, success in life, whether again that's socially, professionally, or athletically, you have to have that process and enjoy it thoroughly and continue to live up to that standard day to day. The $1 million question is, how do you relay that to somebody that's up and coming, whether that's your kid or someone that looks up to you? Again, I think it's understanding their personality, understanding who they are, where they came from, and knowing how to talk to them.
Yeah.
They will, if you can connect to somebody, your word's gospel. You know what I mean? Like I think that's leadership 101. And that could be obviously that's a whole different topic of conversation.
Yeah.
Because you can use that for good or, obviously bad. There's scenarios where it's used for bad. But being able to be personable and the ability to connect to different people is massive. Because then what you say really holds a lot of weight. And I think at the end of the day, that's the root. That's the root right there, is having that ability, talking to them, being able to connect with them, and then what you say will likely attempted to be replicated.
Love it.
But again, I'm human. So when you say how are you going to relay that to your own kid? I don't know. We're going to trial by error.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you got to, let them grow into something and then...
Because everybody, there's no right
Parenting's
right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. There isn't. There's plenty of right ways to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of right ways to do it, and you don't know how to do it until you do it. That's one thing, right? Like you can talk to other people about how they did it, but their situation is completely different from yours, right? Financially, work-wise, like what you're doing outside of work, like everything is different. So it's kind of tough to piggyback off
their upbringing.
Exactly, their upbringing. Like sure, you could. There might be some mirrored concepts you want to kind of pick from, but like in terms of style, it's all trial by error. I think.
Yeah.
And kind of figuring out what works for you, type thing. So it's going to be like hey, you're in the world now. Let's see what happens, type thing. It's kind of crazy to think about.
If you don't throw this football 50 yards
you're
at
done.
3 years old,
yeah. You're going to
Uncle Nick's
for the remainder of eternity.
Yeah. Do you have any beliefs you had when you were younger, teenager, early 20s, where
that's a good question.
As you've developed through life on your own, it's kind of changed your perspective or changed what you agreed with then and now?
Yeah, when I was younger, I thought it was, even high school, middle school, even elementary school, it's money is the big thing. Like, that's what's going to drive me. Which I'd be lying if I told you it wasn't. That'd be a bold-faced lie. Like, it still is. But I used to think it was the only thing. I now think it's not even a secondary thing, honestly. It's still a big factor. But it's not. It doesn't crack the top 2 or 3. Like for me, enjoying the journey, I think, and finding something that works for me and enjoying that process, I think is number one. Because if it's not, you're not living a fulfilling life, and you're gonna feel it every day. Like if you do shit you don't want to do, and you don't find joy in doing, none of it matters.
What's the point?
I think that overall health, very important. And then who's in your corner is also huge. Like that, and then obviously financially is, again, it's massive. I'm not saying it's not massive, but I think that used to be the only thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like growing up, I'm all right, I need to make money to be happy. No, it's gotta be a perfect storm of things.
Yeah.
To be truly content. But again, like, you get to a level financially, and then like for like people like us, it's like, all right, like what's next now? Like I don't know if there's gonna be like a comfort level, because like growing up, like you think like, oh, like if you bring in like over like $100,000 in a year, like you're good.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. Well, the bar keeps going.
That's my point, right? Like it's like, all right, like what's next now?
Yeah.
Like there's always something next.
Yeah.
Like there's like, if you want there to be and you're driven, there's always something next.
There's always what's next, yeah.
And I think that was a kind of like a misconception when I was younger. I was like, all right, it's just like you make money, you'll be happy. No, it's got to be a perfect storm of that, all that stuff. Like you have to be happy day in and day out what you do and the process that you're working on and the standard you're holding yourself to. If you're not happy, nothing else matters.
Yeah, you said something there. What do you think? Give me an example of something you said would make you happy once you accomplished it, and then you got it.
Money.
Yeah, is that what
you get to the next level, and it's like, okay,
you're happy for like here, I'll be happy.
You're happy for like 2 seconds, and it's like, all right, like
fuck, I got to do more.
What else is there now? Like, I mean, a recent example is I just got, a little bit of equity in my company.
Congrats.
And it's like, that's a huge step. But then it's like, I like sat and marinated a little bit. I'm like, all right, like that's cool. But like, there's always something. And that's also a dangerous game. Like I shouldn't even be saying that as a good thing, because it's, if you focus too much on that, that's where it becomes dangerous, right?
Why?
Like it's like, because if you get consumed, financially, like everything else suffers.
Yeah.
So like I always try to keep that like third, fourth priority, and try to keep my relationships, my health, and kind of my processes at the forefront. Like if you think like of like a burner, like those are on the front 2 burners, and then like money, which also is a huge thing. Like it's not nothing. I'm not saying it's nothing, but it's I try to keep that on the back burner.
I think that's
and not like
healthy.
like if I grind, again, money's a byproduct of the grind and the process and the standard day in and day out. That shit's gonna come. And trying to drill that into my head is a big thing for me. Like that shit is going to come if you put in the work.
Yeah.
And you enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
The money will be a byproduct of that.
For sure.
And it's so important not to be over-consumed, because when you do everything else on that, and then the money's on the front burner, and that's when
things suffer.
That's when stuff happens, health-wise, relationship-wise, bad things, like not good things.
Yeah.
So you keep those at the forefront. You really prioritize those, and the byproduct, the rest will come. And I really try to hone in on that, because it's important, I think. Because if you don't have your health, what good is money? If you don't have relationships, what good is money?
Yeah.
And if you're not doing what you love every day and trying to live a fulfilling life, what good is money? It's not good at all.
No, I couldn't agree more.
It's important, but if without those 3 things, it's nothing.
Well, if you're not true to yourself, if you're doing something you absolutely hate, but you're making millions a year, but you're miserable,
and
then your relationships, you said it so well. And
then like your health is deteriorating, like
everything.
Like
You're
not going to sit here and tell me, like, I don't envy you if you're like, you know what I mean? Like, I personally, like, I don't envy that.
Yeah.
I don't envy that lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, the social constructs, I think something, while I was in Thailand, you drive by a house and you see it's a different world. But the world is so big.
But it's so, I mean, like, it's so crucial to open up your lens a little bit.
I needed it, dude.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say.
Are you going back, please, soon?
You're coming with me. We got to go see my guy, Bon Cha.
Running through people's yards.
Yeah. But you see a family of 8 in a 1-bedroom.
And they're cheesing the whole time.
But they're the happiest people I've ever seen. And then you come here and you see a family in a beautiful home, and they're it's just it just changes what you
It is. It is.
What would you say to an athlete who is maybe going through that process now, where they dedicated their whole life to their craft, and now it's time to hang up the cleats and you got to go into the real world, find a job, whatever the social standard is? What would your advice to them be?
Find what you love to do and just stick to it every day. Work your ass off, and there's going to be a lot of there's a ton. I mean, trial by error. There's a ton out of college into the real world. You gotta learn what your formula is, and I think it takes time. But what helps is finding a couple people that have been there, done that, and kind of piggybacking and leaning into them a little bit, and then you kind of develop your own formula from there on out. Don't do it alone. Find people that you can have in your corner that will bring you up levels. But just enjoy what you do, and grind and work. But those are important. Finding people that have been there, done that. Piggyback off them. Ask them questions, like be in their ear. Because people like that typically love someone who's like trying to aspire to be like that. They love kind of guiding and molding people. And then having those people in your corner is huge, I think, to kind of help you level up, so to speak. And don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's the only way you grow. Get uncomfortable, make mistakes, and then continue the process every single day, every week, every month, every year, and then just wait till you see where you're at in 3 years. It's going to be it's when you stick to something and grind and you have all those things in place, the growth is unbelievable, and it's just, I would say, find some people to put in your corner that will help you level up, enjoy what you do, love what you do, and work your ass off, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Those are probably the top 3 things I would tell them. They're like literally make mistakes, but do it like 100%.
Yeah.
Do the mistake 100%. So you're like, all right, like I went 100%, but I made the mistake. Now I know what I need to fix to kind of get that standard to the next level.
And the difficulty of going from I'm good at this right now,
it's brutal,
and I need to go be new at something and be bad at it.
You got to be, again, it's getting your ass uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like who cares? Like no one's the best at anything. Like there's always someone that's better than that person that thinks they're the best. You know what I mean? It's like, who gives a damn? Like just do it 100%. If you make a mistake, learn from the mistake. Don't make the same mistake 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Learn from that mistake, and then kind of implement that into building what your standard looks like moving forward.
And they're necessary mistakes. They're needed.
Anyone that says they don't make mistakes I probably don't like.
If it works out for you every single time,
just
you're not learning anything though, too.
But you're also probably not doing anything that's challenging.
You're not challenging yourself.
Yeah. Which goes back to what we talked about.
The whole
before.
theme of everything. Yeah. It's pretty much everything I've written. You've answered a lot. You have anything for me? Any other things you want to go into specifically? Because we bounced around career, personal relationships, athletics.
What'd you learn in your stint in California? What was the biggest things you've learned? Kind of removing yourself, again, out of college. What'd you do?
Yeah.
You made yourself uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You didn't kind of conform to social norms, so to speak, right?
Well, originally I did. Because I graduated.
Yep.
I did the 9 to 5 thing for 6 months.
Yeah. Was it 6 months?
Yeah, like 6, 5.5. And, almost every day I would go in and just find the joy in it. And
What you need to love what you do.
yeah, and I think something I found was, I think David Goggins said it really well, where, a fear of his was getting to heaven and God saying, these are all the things you could have done.
Yeah.
Right. And I kind of saw my whole future if I stayed there, and this is the next 30 years. And I knew I wanted to move. So all these things. So I ended up in California, right? Left there, drove to California by myself. And that drive was probably one of the lower points where I'm like.
Yeah, but you get to kind of go a little bit inward, right? I mean, I can't speak for you, but those are very, very important times you'll remember.
But I think that's what happened when I got out to San Diego. It was, all right, you just left a stable job. You're by yourself. I obviously had my brother, AC's out there, and his girlfriend.
Had people in your corner, right?
So there's some comfortability there, and that was a little bit of the difference that I wanted with this last trip, but we could talk about that. Yep. Getting out to San Diego really taught me there's not as much of a cushion, but now here's some freedom to do really whatever you want.
Yeah.
Which was fitness, really the priority was how do I pay my rent every month, which led me to random jobs, working in a nightclub, working construction, all this, and then eventually finding that groove of, all right, these are the people I want to surround myself with. I know
it takes time, right? It takes mistakes, takes time.
It takes a lot of things, I know there was a point where I just decided, I was like, you know what? I fell back into the social side of things again, which is good. I think you need that social life, going out drinking. But there was a point where I was like, I'm absolutely dialed, and I'm going to go all in on where can I, because I do have the mindset of I can endure and suffer a good amount. Where can I use that within the fitness realm?
Yeah.
So my training ramped up, started running more, and I got really, really good at suffering, really is what it is.
Repetition.
And
being uncomfortable, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and just keep going, right?
And I was trying to get a job as a trainer at Fit. I had zero experience. The fitness manager was just, go get some experience somewhere. Got a job at the front desk, got another job, and kind of got a little comfortable, but I was like, all right, I want to train. So I went to some gyms. I actually got offered a managerial role because I had a degree in finance and my CPT, whatever. And then as I was talking to these other gyms, she ended up offering me a job. And what came with that was I was working the front desk.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would work 12-hour shifts because just how it worked, only a few times. And I'd work out for 2 hours. So I was always at the gym. So my dedication was clearly there.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it taught me was, and then meeting people who have gotten to that point of success, there's not a huge difference between you and I.
It's just time in and standard.
Yeah, so the biggest things I'd say I got from San Diego was putting work towards something that you truly care about is going to get you those results.
Everything else is a byproduct if you just, 100%.
The running, the lifting, taking risks, there's still things that I still have some self-doubts on.
You're always going to, though.
Always. And it's just, no matter what, just go. Just wake up and go through it, though.
Figure it out, man.
Starting this is episode 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, 2026 goal. I could ask you that, too. Do at least 50 episodes.
Yeah.
It's one a week. So feasible.
Yeah.
And then, once you get that done, 2027 comes around, take a step back. How did everything go? How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Is it something you can continue? Is it shit? Really evaluate.
Yeah.
So, I've learned a lot.
High standard type thing.
For sure. I've learned a lot. And especially, I got out there when I was 23 and just, I think, growing up a little bit at the same time.
Yeah, you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's, less than 1% of the population does that. And that's, you put yourself in the fire. You learn very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm sure you made mistakes, but you learn from them very, very quickly. And that kind of, molds you and helps you grow into that next level.
Yeah, the classic nobody's coming to save you thing, and,
Nobody cares, work harder.
Boom.
No one gives a shit about anything.
No.
No. People think, people care about, like they say they do, but it's like, do what you need to do and do it 100%. Make mistakes and then learn from those mistakes and continue the process. Yeah,
and laying your head to rest every night where, all right, I'm thinking about me.
Yep.
And I'm anxious about me.
Yeah.
Nobody else is thinking about me.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's doing this. Everybody's thinking about themselves.
Yep.
So trying to remind myself of that. And then this last trip, similarly, especially as you post more and people, it looks like everything is great, but there's a lot of lows.
Yeah, there's
so many lows.
Yeah.
But I think you need to sit in the darkness to appreciate the light.
Yep.
And it made the other moments so much greater because I was isolated, and then there's so many different things that came with it. But yeah, it was great. Do you have anything 2026 wise where it's at the end of 2026, I would have accomplished this for it to be a good year? Chris Williamson said that.
Yeah, professionally, I have goals in terms of what I want to produce from a production standpoint for 2026 as a whole. Athletically, I think the big one is the 100-miler, and we're gonna find out what's going on.
Where would that be?
That is going to be in Vermont or New Hampshire, one of the two. Me and Brendan are talking about it. And Guillermo too.
Vermont or New Hampshire?
Yeah, so it's it's more of a technical trail. It's a trail.
Yeah,
it's believe it's 4 25-mile loops And then obviously you got like base camp, back each rep. Gonna be hallucinating.
That sounds
the
terrible.
last like 50.
I'll
Man goes missing.
Listen, I'll be there.
during 100-mile ultra. No, but I think that's probably the big one for 26. And then socially, obviously, get through the wedding.
When is that? September?
November. You'll be getting that. Save the date.
I won't
Yeah,
be
you
at that
will.
wedding.
Yeah, you will. I'll pay for your plane ticket. You'll be getting save the date. Yeah, I mean those are the big goals, and obviously I like breaking up my months specifically in terms of all three of those, and kind of writing on my little calendar at home what goals I have in store for those months, or what I'm trying to accomplish for that month, whether it's if my training block that month calls for like a 18-mile run or something like that, like hit the 18-mile run, like that's the goal for this month. Produce like 300,000 in new business, something like that. Like smaller goals like that, like each month, just to keep me remind myself what the standard is, and kind of like look at it and be like, what do I got to do to get there? At this point, I know what I have to do to get there. So it's just continuing that path day in and day out for me.
Do you do a good job with small wins? Like if you accomplish, no. So bad at it.
No,
That's a 2026 goal. I'm trying to be better.
I'm like, if I like bring in like a big piece of business, I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. Like, damn, that 10-miler felt good. All right, time to go lift. Forget about it.
It's just another day in the office. Yeah.
Yeah. So like really, and I'm trying to get better at it, but I don't think I'll ever be good at it.
Yeah.
It's not good. People shouldn't be like that. Like you should enjoy the wins, because I mean, like they're not. It's not easy it's not easy to get like wins in general in life, whatever it is, like professionally, athletically, it's not. Especially if you have a high standard of yourself, it's really, really tough. But I freaking suck at that.
Yeah.
And I know you do too.
So bad.
It's just so bad.
But it's
not good. It's not good.
No.
It's not.
And the entrepreneurship side and this is kind of an art form on the artistic and like social media side. I think it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's because every small win just gives you a little more confidence.
Well, when you're starting from, I will say it is easier to appreciate the smaller wins when you're starting from ground zero.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, I'm sure like doing Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Like you were like
no.
You saw your tech. I was like, yeah. Like that looks good.
Well, you know me, so yes. Like day one compared to week 2, was there improvements? But this also goes back to
big improvements.
Something you said earlier.
I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this.
Well, I don't know. Well, what I was going to say was,
ow, I just got another cramp.
at first, I didn't really even know what I was doing wrong. Right, because we did a little bit back in the day.
We did Muay Thai. We did a lot of wrestling and more like boxing.
Yeah. But when I first started with the technique and the technical stuff, I didn't know. It was like, all right, here, do these things, but I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And my buddy John, who I had on the first episode, said it really well.
I mean, that's a real gym, by the way, you went to. Well,
he's a real killer, too. Like, my buddy made his pro debut.
That's a real training facility. That's legit.
And this will funnel back into what we were talking about, is kind of the blessing and the curse of who I am is I'm walking in and you're the best athletes here. I'm comparing myself to you and I need to get on your level.
Yep.
I'm not even thinking about how I have little to no experience. Yes, I agree.
Also, it's a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It's a double-edged.
I would rather be like that though than
100%.
In my head be like, yeah, I'm a beginner. So
even if you can't get to that level, which you're not going to in the first couple weeks, you're gonna see significant growth.
Yes. And
because
I think that helps.
Holding yourself to that standard.
And we're recording each other, and I'm watching his rounds. He's watching my rounds.
Visual learner, right? Like technique, like in terms of mechanics and technique, like you have to see yourself on tape to kind of.
And I would post some stuff, but I would literally watch back and be like, "Oh my foot's off."
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I got to keep my like elbow tight or something like that.
Game footage, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a whole nother thing in itself, and I'm trying to find somewhere to continue doing.
So cool.
Yeah, it was great.
And you learn a lot about yourself doing those kinds of sports. Like where you, so like people think like MMA as a whole and like whatever it is, like boxing, wrestling is like an individual sport. Sure, day of. Still not really. You still got people in your corner that have put in so much time and effort for you. You wouldn't get to that level without them. So I disagree when people say it's an individual sport. Sure, it's you in your head. You're the one competing, which makes it, I guess, individual. But you're not getting to that level without the people in your corner and the people that are training you and with you day in and day out. And I think like it's the same thing with any individual sport. Like you have those people that elevate you.
I don't want to let them down.
You don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the kind of like that team aspect and kind of finding the right fit to kind of elevate you, so to speak. And obviously elevate others too, but super important to kind of, you know, find that and find the right team, because if you do, you'll see the growth that you've seen.
Yeah, totally agree. Do you do anything, or have you tried anything to be more present?
I suck at that too.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to work on.
Suck at that too. I'm always looking forward.
That's what, again,
just because you kind of get lost in the sauce, so to speak, a little bit. Like, I don't want to say you go on autopilot, because I don't go on autopilot, but it's like I know what I have to do today. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it 100%. But that's all I know like to do. So you sometimes kind of get on that like little bit of you don't think as much, and then it's like, okay, if I don't have to think about it, then like let me look forward a little bit. And I do that frequently. It's not good. I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful throughout the day, because, you know, I mean, that's important, especially, you know, as you get older, 28. Yeah, a lot of shit goes on day in, day out. You just, like, good things that happen. Like, you gotta just appreciate everything a little bit more.
What would you say the difference between autopilot and being in that flow state is? Because I think flow state is present.
I think if you're autopilot, you just go through the motions. I think if you're flow state, you're still kind of dialed in, but you just have a little bit more intention on what you're doing. Autopilot is like say like you're working out and you're on autopilot, like you're not really pushing yourself, but like you're just going through the movements because you know what movements you have to do, but you're not doing it with intent, type of thing.
Even present moment, right? I think we got to a point sitting here talking, and I said it to you, I was like, once we're like 30 minutes in, we'll just start flowing. I feel like that's something I'm consistently chasing, and the only way to get there is, again, to reiterate. Repetition, but you have to find a way to challenge yourself where here's that line of order and chaos. I'm teetering.
Find it. Balance on that motherfucker.
Balance on that bitch, and as long as you can. Yeah. Because with the Muay Thai, it was perfect because at first I'm chaos. Yeah. Eventually you start to get a little bit.
That's the thing with growth. Like it gets easier the more time and the more uncomfortable you make yourself. Yeah. And then you look back 2 weeks, you're like, it wasn't that bad. Now it's starting to get like there's rhythm to it. Yeah. Repetition, make yourself uncomfortable.
What's the next challenge?
Good things happen. Yeah. What's the next challenge?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the coach I had, I love this. I mean, maybe knew 10 words in English. And he taught me so much.
Who gives a shit, man?
But he did such a good job of that chaos and order line where, all right, you're good at these.
Yeah, he kept you where you need to be.
Let's throw this in at the end. Yep. And then it's like, here's a difficult thing, and then it's you do something you're good at. Yep. And my hips are tight.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, they need.
Oh, we know we knew they were tight. We knew they were tight, dude. From day one when we first started at Parker's gym.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, me too, though. Like, really, like that's.
And we were supposed to do yoga this morning.
Yeah, we were. I blame the institutions for
the scheduling. Yeah. Tomorrow morning.
I can do tomorrow morning. Yeah. You're going to New York, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you actually?
I gotta call my dad after this.
Yeah.
But maybe go down there, catch a Manhattan game. But yeah, you got any trips coming up or anything? I
got a couple bachelor parties.
Oh, you have ACs?
ACs, my buddy Tom's, and then mine.
You're fucked.
Fucked.
Where's yours?
Nashville. It was going to be Vegas, but Nashville's like a third of the price.
That would have been way worse.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody spending crazy money. That'd be stupid.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid.
Nah. You're going to make it all back.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be stupid. Fucking awesome. No, man, it's funny because like we talk a lot like on the phone, like especially when you're away, but we don't obviously see each other. Like FaceTime, it's not the same.
Yeah.
But it's like we'll go like a couple months without seeing each other, and then like for the last like 2 or 3 years, ever since you moved, has it been 3 years since California? Has it? That's bad.
That's crazy.
That's fucking. I don't even know why I said that, but 3 years.
Yeah.
We'll go months without seeing each other. Sometimes like half months, like whatever, like long periods of time. And then we'll see each other, and it's like nothing's changed at all.
Yeah, and you need those. You need those relationships. It's funny too. Yeah, you said it, and we go as soon as I'm back home, whatever it is. The funniest shit was when you were in San Diego, and I was running through the city. And like I knew you were there, but whatever. You're just sitting at a coffee shop.
15 minutes.
That was actually so fun.
Coffee. Yeah, I'm like, yep. He's like, definitely shirtless. Yeah. On mile 5.
I'm like, I got a session in 10 minutes.
Not gonna make it.
Yeah, but
I mean that's.
I think those are the relationships you need. And
that kind of epitomizes our relationship. I think.
Yeah.
To a T.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Our vices are sushi house and Mitchell's when I'm home. You know, and then kill a workout. Make sure the other person's alive.
Nah, better if we're not, though. I think, you know.
Yeah.
We want to be on the brink.
You still kicking?
Finding the fine line.
Yeah.
So we got a heartbeat?
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah. But, brother.
Yeah, man.
I think that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I mean, we could talk.
Could go all day.
How long have we been on?
Probably just under 2.
Really?
You think longer? Or...
Damn, that was quick then.
Yeah.
I mean, if we wanted to, we could extend that.
Yeah, and I wanted to go into some specific things, see what your mindset is, but I think you answered most things.
Well, there's going to be another episode fairly soon.
Episode 200. Oh my God, Jet.
They're talking about
ending in this thing how we went in. He just ripped ass.
Yeah, just rude.
Yeah,
just straight rude.
No regards, but yeah, I mean, that's everything I got.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate you doing this with me. I appreciate you.
You know, I
input.
love it, dude.
And
I love it.
Very
Can't
inspiring
wait for the next episode, man.
Yeah. And we'll come back. And that's the other side too, right? Is so much growth that happens between now and that's what I like is we're talking about these.
There's going to be some different shit.
I mean, if we sit down again after you run 100 miles, it's like, well,
I'll be lucky to be here.
Yeah, you'll be sitting in the corner, and I'll just hand you a mic, and So,
I'll be $150 soaking wet after that.
For sure. I'm excited to see the growth on your end, and
likewise,
brother, appreciate you for coming on.
Love you, buddy.
My brother, love you.
Yeah.